Hello everyone, this is Zhehua Zhao. I am presenting about our Game 41 final project called Zombie Dice. This is my teammate Yang Wang.
Hi, my name's Young Wang. You can just call me Young.
Together, me and Yang did all the work. You might be wondering why isn't there a third person? Well, we do have a third person assigned. She is Ava Marie Rose now, but she haven't responded to all of our message, and including a message from Professor. So we have to complete this project by the two of us. I hope you can understand that. Well, now, without further ado, let's get into the code. So taking a look, we have the files folder over on the left. There's the .env file, which I did most part of, including the turns, passing turns, login score, talking to TeamSpeak, and all that. Yang, how about you talk a bit about what you do?
Yeah, I mostly connect the correct functions from the .env file to the actual GUI, and also did the design of the GUI and the visual aspects of the sound effects.
All right, cool. So yeah, Yang created this, and Yang wrote most of the stuff over here. And we did the debugging together. So let's just do a quick demo to show you what this game is all about. Basically, you and your friend are two zombies racing to see who eats seven brains first. How do you do that? Well, you start your turn. And each turn, you get to roll your dice by shaking your phone. Each turn, every roll, you roll three dice in total, and every dice can have three results. A brain, which means you get one more brain, which is good. Shots, which means you get shot once. If you get shot three times during a turn, you die for that turn and lose all the brain during that turn. A footprint, which just means the person escaped. Nothing good, nothing bad. Now, you can roll infinite amount of time during your turn, which is 20 seconds, or you can use the pass turn button to pass it to your opponent prematurely. And you can only start your turn by clicking start, and that will only work when it's in your appropriate turn. If you try to click it outside your turn, you realize it shows error. You realize it shows a message about that. And your data will be updated automatically at end of each turn on both score field between you and your opponent. So here, I'm gonna be player one and Yang is gonna be player two. And as you can see, once I choose player one, the selection dropdown goes to dim and I got connection on my phone. Now, since I'm player one and we start with me, I will start my turn. I'm rolling my dice. It has a really crisp sound effect. So two brains, one shot. I want to roll again. Two brains, one shot. I want to roll again. Uh, five brains. That is very good. So I will let the turn naturally pass. And end of turn, the 5 points is updated into the pool. Now priority goes to Yang. And Yang, let's show the share screen on your side and see what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. Let me do that. Now you can see I'm player two, and I click start. It says LB2 is on the hunt, and I shake. Shake detected. I roll the dice. You can hear the sound effect. I got three shotguns. You can see the gun
Dang.
sound effect. Yeah, because I busted. I got three or more gunshot in the turn. The turn is automatically over, and now it's the other player's turn.
All right, so let's get back to my screens. For time's sake, we already spent like 4 minutes or so, so I don't want to keep dragging on in this game, so because it could take kind of long. We do have a winning message displayed in the text area, and we do have a sound effect related to that. So these are the two of our game reach feature, sound effect and the randomness. Well, there's also visual design, but I think that's a part of the like rudimentary stuff, baby steps. Now, coming to talk about the codes, we will take a look first at the zombie.dice.env file. In here, I designed almost like 80-90% of these. So first, we have the constructor, and I made a property for all of the value I need to use. I also did this way to check for the player's player number. If you are player one or two, which are your only option, player number is linked with the drop-down menu, by the way. He is going to be three minus your number. Very clever, because he can only be the opposite of you. I don't need to do the if else, all that crap. And if I initialize everything over here, I wouldn't get any NAN message. Here's a roll to pick three dice out of the dice pool. So we have six easy dice, four hard dice, and three very hard veteran dice. Within each dice, there's different phase. You can see here in the one, it's bring, easy pick. Two is bring. Three is only one bring. And this get dice for number is plugged back into here for with a three times for loop. And the for loop just rolls it three times, produce the appropriate results, and give you the appropriate spring shot and footprints. In the return, this is where everything is happening. It's also linked to add message, which updates your text area. Yang will talk a bit more about the text area and the whole design purpose of that. But essentially, in Z turn, I have my score, printf, zombie 787 brings. So beginning of turn, you do a little check for what is going on. Is anyone winning or not? Then you set pass turn to false. This is an important trigger for the pass turn button. And then we goes into read my opponent's score, which helps update later. And well, this is actually two consecutive updates, but just for the sake to make it safe, here's a current number, right? Read current number. If it's not your turn, just displays it's zombie X turn, not yours. This is what happened if you click the start button. Now, if it's your turn, it will print zombie X is on the hunt, shake, take your bite. You can see over here that the shake function. I really want to show you this. So ACC is whatever acceleration is after I start the logging, and I have a number over here that accounts for Earth's gravity, shake threshold, and pole interval. So after some calculation, if I'll put delta, delta is essentially the acceleration of your foam minus gravity acceleration. If that's bigger than 5, which is like a reasonable amount, it shows you shake detected, and then it rolls 3 times. And then at the end of turn, it logs everything. Well, this is logging just into OBJ. But draw now update every time a while true happen. So as you can see, we start take outside of the while true, and as we roll a bit more, once it hits the end, it ends the whole thing, break out of the while true, and over here, stop logging, put everything into the sync speak. Now, here's one hard thing that we figure out what halfway through. It's really been challenging to us. Turns out if you don't write into the 3 field all at once, the other 2 field you haven't touched becomes undefined. And this has been messing with us for the past days. And I finally fixed this by doing a write for all 3 of them at the same time and doing a initialize everything by writing to all of them at once. Before I was trying to write to 3 at once and it just didn't go well. Anyhow, Yang, goes on to you. Share your screen and tell us how did you do your coding.
Absolutely. Let me start sharing. Before that one, let me quickly go back to the dot M and let me show where the sound comes from. That's also something quite new to both of us. Here's the end of the entire method, and there's a sound function, play shake sound. That's the sound you hear shaking dice, and the gunshot for bust, the winning sound, and the losing sound. We create two persistent variables, and we only load the entire sound file once if we have not got the, let's say, the sound wave form of the sound file. And if we already have that, if it's not empty, then we just directly use the wave form of the sound and the frequency. All right, let's go to the can I access that? Okay, there we go. For the GUI, these are all the properties we got. And for the startup function, we set up everything into 0, and we got the channel ID, the APIs, and also here we write all the values together. And when we choose a player, we get the value from the dropdown and shove it back to the .m file. And then we close the dropdown so that the player cannot switch their number mid-game. Also in the start button, due to the very effective .m we produced, we can just click the turn and there's a short handle. And if my player number is 1, then these two are my score and my up score. And if I'm in player number 2, then these should be my score and my up score. The text area, we managed to just update what we have in the basically in the command section of the .m file and put it into the text area in the GUI.
Yeah, so
And
basically that part is just all empty. And I did actually like write a message, so it just bumped whatever I wrote initially into this field. Because we wrote like parallel to each other, and we were trying to figure out a good way to implement both of our feature to the maximum, right? So
yes,
in the end, for our project, we use the reach feature of appealing of visual and sound design. We also use the reach feature of multiplayer across the remote room. As you can see, we're now doing our video conference in two completely different locations. They update the data into ThinkSpeak and to our individual interface separately. And we also added the element of randomness and strategy. Well, you probably couldn't see the strategy in the demo just because this game is kind of long, but I suggest all of you go play it because it is very fun and we spend a lot of time and effort on it. Anyhow, that's all of our projects, and thank you very much for watching. See you around.